Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Today's tutorial is a little bit different. As I mentioned before, I am going to try to do some looks that are a little bit more, not more elaborate in steps, but just a little bit more color. And I feel like I did that today. I feel like I have sort of stepped out of my comfort. I still have a little bit of warmth. I know you guys are going to see it. There's a little bit of warm tones. You guys know that's my jam in the crease, but it is the only warm tone shadow that I'm using. Everything else is just different. Some duochrome action happening, a little bit of a deep teal, and I have switched out all of my goodies in the basket for this week. As you guys know, last week, the video that I shared, I did different products, so I will list everything down below. Everything except for concealer and setting powder is completely different than what I used last week, and I love this look. I think it's really pretty. It's different, but it's not too out there where it's not wearable for me, or where I wouldn't want to wear these types of shades to go somewhere. I do like it, and I hope that you guys will enjoy this. Let me know what you guys think of the look in the comment section, and let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. Alright, so I have just done my brows and concealer with some eye brightener underneath the eye, a little bit over the lids, and I've also kind of sort of spot concealed where I needed it. I want to keep everything pretty light today and just use a little bit of setting powder. I will be doing bronzer and some other face products after the eyes, but the eyes today, or this week I should say, I busted out my LORAC Mega Pro 4 palette that I have enjoyed. When I first got this, I think it was October when it came out, or I think it was September? October. And it's a beautiful palette. I'll show you if you haven't seen what it looks like. It's the big palettes that LORAC comes out with every single year. This one has lots of soft tones like blush tones, some deeper colors, some pops of shades here and there, which camera focus. Hopefully it's focusing there. So lots of pretty colors. Some colors that I'm not accustomed to using or that I use on a regular basis, but I think these are really pretty. When I use this palette, I always go in for a cool taupe, which looks like this. It's just like a light ivory color, nothing special about it. It is matte, and I do use a big fluffy brush, the Morphe E30, to apply it. Hopefully, I have scooched you guys in a little bit closer than usual. Sometimes I do forget to zoom the camera in when I'm doing tutorials, and I don't even realize it until after I post the video. Like, I could have brought you guys in closer. So I've got this color on all the way up to the brow. All right, so I'm thinking that I might start with the shimmer. I don't know why. I think I'm just gonna go for the lid color first. I'm gonna start with the shade called Silver Fox, which is this one right here. It's kind of silvery, kind of taupey, and I'm gonna use just a flat eyeshadow brush right over my entire lid. They're very pigmented though, but they do have a little bit of fallout when you put a brush in it. Just kind of warning you guys. Get a little bit more. And patting that all over my lid. So then I'm going to take a crease brush. This is the E25 from Sigma. And I'm just going to go around the edges of that and just soften that before I go in with the crease color. Alright, so for the crease, I'm going to do the shade called Mocha, which is a bit of a warm tan. And it's in the upper first row. So it looks like that. Just kind of warm. You have Oat, which is the second shade in the second row, but that is a bit cooler. And it is quite light, so I don't think it's going to show up too much. And so what I'm going to do is take that Mocha shade and go around the very edges of that silvery Silver Fox shade. And I am kind of bringing up that color a bit on the higher side, just because that's what I feel like doing today. I feel like I don't know, like my mirror was so dirty and smudgy, and I'm like, why is it that everything looks so blurry? It's the mirror. I was like, what's going on with my eyeballs today? But it's the mirror. Much better. Okay, so I did go a bit heavier on this eye, so now I'm going to add some more to this eye here. Make this a little darker. So then to blend out the edges, I'm going to take the Morphe E22 brush that looks like this, and a little bit of the Cool Taupe, which is the shade that I used on my lids before applying any color, and I'm going to go around the edges of that just to kind of soften that and blend that mocha right into the Cool Taupe. I don't know why they call it Cool Taupe. It keeps throwing me off, but that color is straight up cream. Nothing taupey about it. Alright, so I'm going to go on to the lower lash line. I'm going to take that same mocha shade with a flat definer brush. Making sure it connects to the outer corner here, and then kind of make a line. Begin on this side. I'm not going to come all the way into the inner corner with it. I'm going to just keep everything kind of bare in the inner corner because I want to do something like a little pop of color there as well. I'm going to take a pencil brush. This has no blue eyeshadow, but it's just stained. This is my MAC 219, and I'm going to blend it out. Alright, so now I want to add a little something, so I think I'm going to go in with the shade called Unicorn, which is the first color in the last row. It's a very pretty kind of icy purple that has a bit of a bluish kind of shift to it, and I think it'll play nicely with that Silver Fox. I'm going to use a Zoeva Detail Shader number 237 brush, which is super duper tiny, and pick up that Unicorn shade corner to highlight, and it's that sort of duochrome color, and this is so pretty, and it's extremely pigmented, so you can see very intense. And I'm actually going to leave it a little bit on the more intense side today, which I normally don't. Maybe pat it just a little bit, but this is like super pretty. A little bit more. And then what I also want to do is take that same brush with that same Unicorn, and I want to add it to this inner part, kind of layer it right over that Silver Fox shade, just to give it some dimension. If you wanted to, you could just do it in the center of the lid, but I'm going to do it in this inner part. Why not? So you can see it's going to brighten all of this up. And I'm basically going to stop right where the color part of my eye starts. Alright, so a color in this palette that I have not used is called Lagoon, and it is a very deep teal, but it has a kind of like a purpley pinky like shimmer kind of glitter. It's not chunky glitter, but it's there. It may not be picked up very well on camera, but I will do a swatch of it. As you guys can see, it's a very deep teal, and this is actually kind of cool. And like I said, I have not used this color yet in this palette, I don't think that I can remember. But it's different than using, oh, did I get it? Okay, I thought I got it on my nose. It's a little bit different than using something that is dark brown, dark gray, dark maroon, those typical colors that we go for if you want to add some darkness to the lower lashes. This is dark, but it's a different tone, it's a different little twist. If you can see that kind of sparkle, even better, which you probably will see it if you put it over like the Too Faced glitter glue on the lid first and use it as the main lid shade. I think you'll be able to pick up definite tones. And I'm going to get really close. I'm going to make sure I'm still in frame here. Get really close to the root of my lash and just kind of press and wiggle. You can see it's a really pretty color. And I'm getting it right there at the root of the lashes where it meets up to my waterline, so that there's not so much of a gap where you can see like the flesh tone of my waterline area. So really close without getting it in there, because like I said, this does have some sparkle. And then with the very edge of that brush, I'm going to kind of fade that color right into the Unicorn. Not too much, because I want that Unicorn to still have that, I don't know what this is with my hands, but I still want it to have that pop of color. So I'm not going to go in too far with it. Okay, so I've darkened the color up, and I sort of added some more, blended just the very outer edge so that it kind of blends into the lower lashes. So it's not just like a strip of color, because it doesn't look blended, and it will, drives me crazy. So I did the best that I can. Unfortunately, I was looking up really close to the mirror, like all up onto the mirror, and I can't really see too much of that kind of glittery, kind of pinky, purpley thing going on with it. So that's a shame, because that color is beautiful. It's a deep teal, and hopefully you guys can see that it is kind of teal. It plays with that purple. We've got some different shades. We're putting all kinds of colors on today. I don't even know if this is going to come out pretty good at the very end, but this is just what I'm in the mood for today. So now I need to add a little bit of something dark. So I think I'm going to use a little bit of this matte color called Shadow. This palette is so disgusting, as you guys can hopefully see. It's so dirty because these colors go everywhere. But the Shadow, it's a very deep gray, which when I swatched it, it almost looks like a deep teal, doesn't it? Like a bit tealish. I don't know. And I'm going to just apply this to the outer corner of my eye. Just kind of stamping it, and we'll blend it in a minute. So I would say that it is just a little bit on the difficult side to blend. Just a bit. Or that could just be me. I don't know. But it just seems like it's a little bit difficult to blend. So I'm going to do the best that I can here. Make sure it connects on this outer corner because it almost kind of picks up the tone of that teal. And so now what I'm doing is taking my E25 brush with nothing on it, whatever residual eyeshadow is left from when I used it for Mocha, which is that warm tan. And I'm just going to go around the edges of that shadow color. I think I'm going to go back in with a little bit more of the Mocha with the same E27 brush and just go right around the edges of everything. Just like so. Alright, so I'm going to switch to a little bit smaller eyeshadow brush. I'm going to go back in with the Silver Fox, which is the first shade, this one here that I used. And I'm going to apply a little bit more of this onto the very center of my lid. And then I'm going to also retouch a bit the Unicorn. I'm going to switch to an accent brush from Real Techniques to go back in with that Unicorn shade. And just kind of pat right over this in the inner corner. Just like so. Make sure it's super intense. And for some reason, I feel like I want to take some of that warm brown, that Mocha, and go right underneath the Lagoon shade. So I wiped off my MAC 219, and I picked up the tiniest bit of that, and just go right around the underneath part. Yeah, just a little bit. You could do, if you want it really warm, you could do Spice, which looks like this. It's super warm. But I'm not going to do that because you guys know that's what I normally would have done. So trying to do something different today. Alright, so now it's time for some eyeliner. I just dug through my collection and found this itty bitty pencil. This is from Makeup Forever. This is the 12L. I don't know if they make this color anymore. I know it's the Aqua. I think they're called XL now, the pencils. But it's just a really bright teal. And see how that looks. Fingers crossed that it doesn't look bad. Actually, it does look nice. It just kind of finishes filling in the lower lash line. I do feel like it did add a little bit of something. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so for upper waterline, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury, the Legendary Eyes in Bedroom Black. Alright, so I'm going to do some liquid liner. You can do liner, skip it, put lashes on. I'm going to do some liner. And then for mascara, got to finish up this tube. This is the Lash Craft from Sephora, the big volume one that has the purple on the lid. So I'm going to do those. And then we'll move on to the rest of the face. Alright, so I went ahead and did my mascara and the Clinique on the lower lash line. Everything I use will be listed in the description box as always. I did go ahead and add just a little bit of my Bare Minerals Loose Mineral foundation. I wasn't planning on it because I had already just used concealer where I needed it and kept everything else pretty much just my skin. But as I was kind of cleaning up underneath the eye, I felt like I needed to kind of perfect it just a little bit more. You will still see my imperfections. I don't care about that. I like to keep everything really light. I don't like to put too much things on my face. So for bronzer, in my little basket this week, what's in here? These are my goodies for this week that I've taken out of my drawers, my collection. So for bronzer, I have Hoola. I haven't used that in a while. I also have my Warmth from Bare Minerals, but you guys know that when I use this, that's all I use for months. So I don't know if I'm going to use that today, but I will try to get back to it this week. And I also took this out of my collection as well. I've had this for such a long time. I think that if I don't use this and fall back in love with it like I was before when I first got it, then I'm just going to have to throw it away because it's been sitting there, I think, for some time. But this is the Makeup Forever Pro Sculpting. So I think I want to take a risk and do a little bit of a cream blush. I have not done cream blush in a long time, so I think I might try that. I'm going to use the e.l.f. small tapered brush. I haven't used this in a while, so just take a little bit of Hoola and go around the hairline. I forgot how good these brushes are from e.l.f. So just a little bit, not too much. Maybe a little bit of contouring. Why not? Just to kind of add a little bit on the apples of my cheek and then across the forehead. Just kind of quickly. I'm getting very hot in here. These lights, I feel like I'm just like melting on camera. That's why my face looks like maybe a little flushed. It's because I'm getting super hot. And add some to the apples of my cheek. That's pretty. Oh man, my heat just kicked on. I could feel it. The vent is above me. Why? So I think I'm going to use this big brush. This is the 977 Face Sculpting Brush from Delium Tools. I did a review on these, on this new line. Love them. I will have it kind of pop up here so you guys can see it. These are really great brushes. And I used to use this to do my Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector or the Backlight Priming Filter first and then a powder. So I think I'm going to do that layering effect, but I'm going to use this, which I don't know if I told you guys, but this is in shade 20 or number 20. Hopefully, ooh, almost dropped it. Hopefully they still make this. If not, just any kind of light shimmery champagne-y gold. And I'm just going to kind of go on the tops of my cheekbone first. And this is going to be super, super light. If you like a light look, it gives you a bit of something, almost as if like your skin is just naturally glowing and healthy. And it blends out quite nicely. The 941 taper brush and this little guy, because I love it. And I always go in for this, oops, not trying to flip you off, this one here, the tiniest bit. That's why this thing is still hanging around, because it's like, you don't really need that much. Alright, so for lips, I wanted to do some eyeshadow looks with some color this week, so I figured I should go with some light nude shades. So this is the Honeycomb by Bite Beauty, and then this is the Minerals Gen Nude in Hemp, which came in a set for the holidays, but it's a nude shade. It's not something that can't be recreated, so I'm going to use the Honeycomb first, the Bite Beauty lipstick. Oh, so pretty. Oh, they smell good. So I went over the lipstick with a little bit of this, just a tiny bit, because this is a matte liquid lipstick, and I used some from the back of my hand, and just lightly kind of tapped it with my finger, because I didn't want to put too much, because the Honeycomb is so pretty, and it's one of my favorites. And I hope that you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and it's snowing, oh my gosh. I'm excited about the snow, that's so cool. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for spending some of your time here with me today. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on social media, it's here on the screen. Have a fabulous day, and I will see you guys very soon.